living in New York. Exciting, isolating, fun, expensive, interesting, lonely, fascinating, depressing.
What do you think about living in New York? Do you like New York? Do you like how your owners take care of you and love you like you were their own child?
Yes, she does.
Do you like New York? Do you like New York? Do you? Oh, no. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, you stink. Ew. Okay.
Hey y'all, you probably know what this video is gonna be about. It's just gonna be me talking about how I feel about New York. I am going to bike to my absolutely favorite place in New York, which is Prospect Park, and I'll take some snacks with me and I'll record my video there.
Dried fig, cashews, hazelnuts, almonds, dried mango.
I moved to the States in 2017. My aunt has been an American citizen for a couple of dozen of years, and my dad and her always wanted to reunite the family, and for obvious reasons, the US seemed a better option than developing Georgia. First, I settled in New Jersey in my aunt's family. She already had done so much for us, I soon realized I needed to move. And the closest and the most exciting place seemed to be New York City. The first year was tough. I did not have any friends around, and meeting new people and keeping them in my life seemed like a hard task to do. The work was hard and the city was hard on me. However, I would spend all my weekends exploring every corner of New York City. You know how much I love solo traveling, and every end of the week was like solo traveling for me. Then I started traveling in neighboring states, then flew to some more distant states. I love how huge this country is. It's not a coincidence that protagonists usually travel in American literature. Take Jack Kerouac or William Faulkner or my favorite Huck Finn by Mark Twain. This enormous chunk of American land gives so much inspiration to curious and adventurous people. Anyway, this is my long American journey short for you. This video is not about the US, it's about New York, so let's get back to Prospect Park now. I just briefly want to mention that whatever I say in this video is 100% subjective experience, and of course I don't claim that I'm, right or wrong. I just want to share my experience, and if you had a similar or different kind of experience about New York, you can let me know and we can share our own thoughts. The first thing that I absolutely want to mention is the financial independence that living in New York gives you. I think some Americans take it for granted that they can work and be 100% independent financially. That's not the case in most parts of the world. In fact, in my country, it's not. Once I ended up traveling with Colombian and American girl, and this Colombian girl was telling us how difficult the life was in her country, that she had a couple jobs, but still money was never enough, and she felt unsafe walking around in the streets of her town, so she needed to leave Colombia and move to Europe. And we were listening to her, and I was kind of empathizing, and then this American girl said, "It sounds like San Francisco." And then I was like, no, it doesn't. And then in that conversation, she said that almond latte costs $6 in California, and I was like, no, that's not the same. That's so not the same. I understand that she probably grew up in the environment where everybody can afford almond latte and she could not, and she felt bad about it. But I just think that Americans have a really hard time looking at the broad perspective of the world and realizing that they are privileged. And I think that wealth is relative, right? I realize that for a lot of people, I might be rich, which I'm so not. But for like Wall Street wolves, I'm broke as fuck. So everything is relative, everything. So speaking about financial independence, I just love how easy it is for me to travel with American dollars. I just work 3-4 months straight and then go travel for another 3 months, which is a blessing and a privilege, and I am extremely grateful for that. All right, that's that. But do I like living here? I like to be able to bike to the parks like this. After finishing this video, I'll probably gonna go to yoga studio and do some yoga. That's my dream life, you know, like being able to hop on the bike, go to the farmer's market, pick up some really good fruits and vegetables, and then go to yoga studio, chill in the park. That's what I want for myself. When I first landed in New York and I came out in the city, I had this feeling of like not belonging at all. And I think the reason why I never wanted to come here is that I've never been a fan of Hollywood. I mean, I still watch Netflix, and as an entertainment it's okay, but I've never been a big huge fan, you know. I never liked the superhero movies or any kind of science fiction. I know for a lot of friends of mine, they want to see this world because they were so much into it through the movies, but I've never been that person, so it never really interested me to, you know, live in the States or live the American lifestyle. See, I'm the kind of person who likes to dream. I'm a dreamer, 100%, very romantic person. And then even though one of the nicknames of New York is the City of Dreams, this place is not for people like me. They mean some other kind of dreams. So when I first came here, everybody I met was like, oh, I love New York City, it's the best place in the world, you're gonna love it so much, you can find everything here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't think so. And then they would tell me something like, oh, just wait for it, oh, let it sink in, and so on and so on. The time would pass by and I would keep on living here and I would never feel the same way. I would never feel that this is where I belong, even though New York really welcomes everybody. Like, for example, the largest LGBTQ plus community lives in New York because it's such a like a welcoming city. But I never ever felt that way. And the worst thing about it is that how can you be an outsider, you know? Like, how can 8 million people admire this place and like really dream about it and want this lifestyle, and how can you not want it? So being an outsider sucks because you always find reasons within you, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And then once you decide that you don't belong here, you need to move, then there is this resistance. Maybe give it another try one more year, and it's been 5 years already. All right, moving on to the next point. Where I grew up in Georgia, we have a very strong community-based society. We do things together. We eat together, we travel together. We even sometimes call our neighbors to come over so we can watch TV, and that's how I grew up. That has positive and negative sides. The good thing about it is that we are social beings, social animals, and we love to be accepted in society. But when you are that tied to one specific community, you kind of compromise your own individuality. You have to fit in. When I first moved to New York, I realized that nobody here, not a single soul, gave a fuck about me. I could do whatever I wanted. I could wear whatever I wanted. I could be whoever I wanted to be. This isolation and solitude and this space to be like, you know, again, like whatever the fuck you want to be, gave me this freedom to choose my own personality, which I did, and I'm grateful for that. But it has a negative side too. When nobody, absolutely nobody cares about you, it is kind of lonely. People are like in their own bubble in this town. Everybody does their own things, and it is depressing. All right, what did I want to say next? Oh yeah, here's what I want to say next. Moving to another country or another town is very difficult. You have to go through a lot of changes, adapt a new environment, new people, new language, new food, everything is new. It is difficult as an adult. You have to kind of like alter your mentality. Growing up in a small town, small country with very tight community, like I said, it's easy to live. Like you have answers to things. And in New York, people live very different lives. Like seriously, literally, like I said in the previous video, people 3 blocks away from each other live absolutely different lifestyle. They believe in different gods, they eat absolutely different kind of food, they wear different clothes, they are different. You walk in a subway car and you see 25 people from absolutely different backgrounds. It kind of makes you very open to any kind of cultural experience. Really, like it makes you very Like, you should be open, of course. Like, some assholes come here and like criticize everybody around them, and everybody's wrong and they are right. But what I'm saying is that this city really gives you the space to experience different worlds in one tiny island, and that's amazing. That's like, I love that. That's my favorite thing about New York. I think the main point that I want to make in this video is that this place is amazing. It is wonderful and fascinating and exciting, but also very, very isolating and depressing. And the main takeaway for myself, not for YouTube, for my own self, should be that everybody else's dream is not my dream. And if you genuinely, intuitively feel like you don't belong, it means that you really don't belong. I do have a lot more to share, but this video is getting really long, so I'm gonna wrap up here. If there's something I really forgot to mention, I will comment it down below and pin it so you can see it easily. And if the God came to me and told me, hey Diana, now you have a chance to go back in 5 years and choose coming to New York once more, what would you choose? I would still choose to live here. This place made me really tough, smarter, more like resilient, and more open to any kind of experiences, more connected to my own self. So I would definitely live here, but I can't wait to get out. Love you, everybody. See you soon. Mwah. Take care.